Yes, guys, Marty from AFTV here for the predicted starting 11 show. I am joined by two very, very amazing guests. On my right-hand side, I have Laurie, the legend, Lyle, the other half of the Lyle brothers. And on my left-hand side, I have Lee, the judge, judges.
Look at that, eh?
Great to be here with you, gentlemen. So today, please, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we are trying to get AFTV to 2 million subscribers. Please check out all of the other content. We are going to go through the predicted starting 11 for the Arsenal or Newcastle versus Arsenal game, Super Sunday, live at St James's Park. AFTV will be covering this. Laurie, on the watch along, you will be there. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic game, a proper dust up at St James's Park. I cannot wait for this fixture. So let's go through what we think the starting 11 will be. Guys, in goal.
Can only be one.
Yeah.
David Raya.
David Raya, yeah.
For me, the best keeper, pound for pound, in the Premier League.
Pound for pound champion.
Well, you know I love my boxing, so I use boxing analogies. But yeah, I mean, listen, some people might say Donnarumma, some people might say Edison or Alisson or whatever. But for me, over the last year or so, David Raya, to me, is the best keeper in the Premier League.
So you, Laurie, you genuinely, legitimately believe he's better than Donnarumma?
I think he's better with Donnarumma with the ball at his feet.
Yep.
I think Donnarumma is probably the better shot stopper, but then I think Raya has more agility. So it's close, man. But I've definitely, listen, I think Raya is definitely in the conversation, 100%.
I wouldn't swap Raya with anybody.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Well said. I like that.
Yeah.
So you actually would not swap David Raya for any goalkeeper on this planet?
No. I think, like, you know, he's the best attacking goalkeeper in the Premier League. But no, like, you know, listen, I think I was a massive Ramsdale fan, you know what I mean, blah, blah, blah. But Mikel proved right on that decision. And Raya's been, I think, like, assured when things are getting a little bit of pressure with crosses and all that. Like, I think that when Ramsdale left that season, from then on, Raya's just got better and better.
Yeah. Do you know what? He's been a fantastic goalkeeper. Rarely puts a foot wrong. And when he does, he puts it right. So, yeah, good choice. Raya in goal. Let's move to the right back. Laurie, I'm going to come to you.
We've got, we're spoilt for choice, but I've got to say, Timber for me has been one of the outstanding players in the Arsenal setup over the recent seasons. Obviously, Ben White is a very good player, very capable player. But for me, Timber is that guy, man. I mean, Timber, he's so good, right? And it's so consistent that sometimes these performances tend to go under the radar. I've noticed that when he gets player ratings, very rarely will he get less than a 7, you know what I mean? So, and sometimes he's that good, we tend to, maybe not underappreciate him, but we take it for granted as to just how good he is, and yeah. And especially when you're playing against a team like Newcastle, you need to have that physicality about you, and Timber has that in spades. I think he's deceptively one of the strongest players in the Premier League. Rarely seen him lose a duel, and yeah, for that reason, it's got to be Timber.
Definitely, I think a standout performance, you say, in the Arsenal team, but also in the Premier League. Definitely a fantastic, very durable, physical guy. Lee?
Yeah, no argument from me. I'm a massive Ben White fan, but if Ben White shades him on anything, it's the attacking side of it. But we're away at Newcastle and it's about defending, and I don't think there's anyone better than Timber. You know, unfortunately for Ben, that's how it is. Like,
Do you see him as the best right back in the league?
Yeah, I do. I think that I wouldn't want to play against him. I know that he's very aggressive and tenacious, isn't he? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And can play as well. And I'm not saying that he's not good going forward. I'm just saying that I think Ben White's probably slightly better in that thing there. But yeah, for me, listen, this is all on the back of a cruciate ligament that I've never seen anybody come back and be better since they've had that injury. I don't know what he would have been like, because unfortunately we only see him for half a game until he had that injury. So what he would have been like, I do not know, because he's a machine now. Like, fantastic.
Good stuff. So moving over to right centre back, Lee, I'm going to come to you again.
Saliba.
Straight in.
Straight, yeah. I didn't think, it was a tough decision that last week. I don't think it was a right and wrong decision who he played there. You could actually say that maybe for the goal, lack of game time meant that that Saliba wasn't quite at it.
Same thing to you, Laurie.
I've got to agree with the big man. It's got to be Saliba. I mean, again, we're spoiled for choice. Mosquero's come in and he's done an admirable job. But Saliba, we all know he's off the back of signing a new contract as well, which is great news, by the way. Saliba, listen, let's be honest, Saliba is elite, I would say, in terms of centre-backs. And that partnership he has with Gabriel, I believe, is the best partnership in the Premier League, one of the best in Europe. So, I would start Saliba. But again, if for whatever reason it's not working out, he's not playing well, you've got able replacements on the bench.
You have indeed. So that moves me over to left centre-back. Now, is this even a question, Laurie?
Well, probably not at the moment, because Nkapie, unfortunately...
Shame that.
That's a real shame. We've not seen him at all in an Arsenal.
Do you know what? His injury record is actually pretty good, and he comes to Arsenal and he gets injured straight away.
Yeah, we said that before.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to seeing him because I'm hearing that he's a very good player. He's aggressive. He's in your face. I mean, apparently on the last international break, he was in the Argentinians' faces and Brazil and the like. So yeah, I was looking forward to seeing him. Unfortunately, not being able to see him. But Gabriel, man, I mean, he's fast becoming a bit of a legend at Arsenal, isn't he, at the moment?
Nailed on.
Yeah.
Good combination. I think aggressive, proper defender. Gabriel, in my old school defender in a good way. You know what I mean? Has got better and better. Like wine, his age as he's got better, and where Saliba's sort of been straight away was there. I think Gabriel's grown into the role and everything like that. I think he's a beast, and when he's ever there, I'm happy.
Yeah, great defensive partnership. What you need going to St James's Park.
Oh, 100%.
And let's hope.
And I'm noticing as well that Odegaard out last week, he actually captained the team.
Yeah.
So if Odegaard's not available this weekend, it could be a similar scenario.
Definitely. So, moves me on to left back. Who do we start at left back?
Calafiori. I thought Lewis Skelly reminded us what he can do against Port Vale, reminded us that he's a good player, reminded us that he's still there and he's about.
Yeah.
But I just think with Calafiori, he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Done nothing wrong. I think he's been one of our better players since the beginning of the season. And, there is that thing of, you got the shirt, it's yours to lose. And I think that's, for me, I wouldn't have done that at the beginning of the season. I think it was a little bit harsh on Skelly, but at the end of the day, for me, Calafiori.
Lee's right. Said he's got the shirt. As they say, possession is 9/10 of the law. He's had the shirt. He's done really well. Last season, he was a bit injury prone, wasn't he?
He did struggle a little bit.
But this season, he appears to have overcome that, which is great. I really like Calafiori. I think he's big, he's strong, he's aggressive. He likes a shot on goal. I saw a stat the other day that of all the outfield Arsenal players, he's had the most shots on goal of any player in the team.
I see that as well. It's a shock, mate.
So, which is quite surprising, isn't it? Your left backs having more shots on goal than midfielders and strikers. But anyway, Calafiori for me.
Cool. Let's go. Let's move into the midfield, where Jules are won. Right. Let's go straight into this midfield.
Zubimendi.
Yep.
100%.
Straight in. Holding midfielder in the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit open at times, if I'll be honest. If with the way he plays and all that, and I think that he's not one of those ones that just stays in that role and holds. He does move about a little bit, but I've been impressed with him. Weren't as great against Man City, but wasn't allowed to, I suppose. I don't know, but Zubimendi for me.
Is there anything more you want to see from him, Lee, in this game?
No, I like just be a little bit more disciplined.
Yeah.
Stay in that shape. Right. Let the other players do that. If someone else is allowed to play in there, but if they play the 3 that I think he's going to play in there, then he has got that little licence to do a little bit more. But Yeah, I think, Zuberman.
Laurie?
You know what? I'm going to go a bit left field on this one. I'm going to say let's have seen Norgard in there.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that, and I've thought about this for a minute, Norgard is a defensive midfielder, big, strong, great runner. Apparently he's got great lungs. I think in this game against Newcastle with their midfield, I think he could get quite physical. And Zubimendi, very good player, but might get a little bit found out in that physical battle. Let's see what Norgard can do. So I'd actually go for Norgard. I don't think the manager's going to do that, but if it was down to me, I'd probably start Norgard for this game. He's Premier League battle tested already. I mean, he played these guys before when he played for Brentford and apparently did very well against Newcastle. So yeah, I'd go for Norgard in this game.
Good shout. It's an interesting shout, Laurie. So who would you have playing next to him?
Declan's got to be Declan. Man.
Yeah.
Declan. That engine, up and down, can get you a goal, set pieces. I'm a big fan of Declan Rice, and games like this, for me, he's got to play.
Lee?
No, without a doubt. Without a doubt, Declan.
You're waiting for the next midfield choice.
I'm waiting to see what Laurie's going to go in with there.
Go on. All right, I'm going to come over to you again, Laurie.
Right, so this is a big one, yeah? So I was saying to a couple of guys off camera before I did this show, if Odegaard is even close to fit, we know what the manager's going to do.
Close to fit, yeah?
Yeah, I think he'll play Odegaard.
Okay.
Because, let's be honest, we don't know if Odegaard will be fully fit, because I've said it before, once you get shoulder injury like he's had, it never really goes away. So he's going to probably have this problem now for a large part of his career going forward. Shoulder injuries are very sensitive. So it could be that he's not 100%, but I still think the manager, knowing what we know about him, he will opt for Odegaard as his captain, as his man. He's been on the record several times as saying that Odegaard will play 9 times out of 10. However, if it's down to me, Eze's got to play in the 10, especially in a game like this where we will be seeing the ball, we will be required to break Newcastle down. You need players that are going to have that creative spark, do something off the cuff, do something a bit different. If there's a free kick, we can win in front of goal. Eze's the type of guy that convert it. For me, he has to play, but as I said, I've got to qualify that by also saying that the manager will probably go for Odegaard. But me personally, Eze.
Okay.
All day long.
Well, I'm praying that Odegaard's fit for this game, like, you know what I mean? Because he will play him if he's fit. Apparently he's back in training, so we're knowing the next day or so. If it's not Odegaard, it will be Marino.
Do you genuinely think he'll play Marino? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See that
if you play that at home against Man City, you're going to play it at Newcastle.
Do you not think Eze's earned his start in the number 10? Not in the eyes of this manager.
Not at the moment. I think that. Listen, I think he's done well in there. Look, he scored, created the goal in a very important light against Man City. Scored against Port Vale. Listen, if it was me, I'd play him.
Yeah.
If it was if you're asking me who I want to see there, I would like to see him. If you're asking me who's going to play there, I don't think that he will.
Okay.
I think that it'll be like, because of the one thing that Newcastle are, is they're physical. I think that they'll play that physical match up. I don't want to see it, but that's what I think that he'll do.
Yeah, for me.
I think as well, we'll be able to tell a lot about the manager's mindset for this game, judging on the midfield. Because I would say, and I'd be interested to hear what Lee says, most of the other positions in the team are fairly nailed on, even though we're sport for choice. But the midfield area is one that you could come up with a few permutations. If we see a midfield and it has Mourinho in it, for me, that suggests to me that the manager's going to go there and look to hold. I'm not saying he doesn't want to win, but the emphasis will be on not losing rather than trying to win. If I see Eze in there, that tells me he's looking for someone to go in there, create, do their thing, and improvise and try and fashion some chances. That's my opinion.
So I look at midfield. There's a lot of talk about that midfield, like how Mikel don't want to win. Of course he wants to win. Whatever team he puts out, he thinks it's going to win, but it's how he's going to win. It's going to be a cautious approach, keep it tight, and go win it and nick it.
Yeah.
Nick it. That's how, or you go out there to try and win the game by using your best team and your strengths to win a game. There's two ways to win a game of football, like, you know what I mean? And the other one is that if you play a more expansive midfield, there's a chance that you might get beat. There's a chance you might get beat, like it could have happened like the other day, but there's more caution to it. I feel we're going more cautious. I wouldn't be surprised if Norgard plays in this, and if it's Norgard, Rice and Zubimendi. That gives Zubimendi a little bit more licence to roam around a little bit.
Freedom.
I wouldn't be surprised. Would that be negative? Yes. But it would be
solid.
It would be more solid, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. For me, Eze's got to start in there. I think he's earned the right over his past performances, and something I definitely want to see.
Eze gets in my team, by the way.
Yeah. No, that's I would play Zubimendi, Rice, and Eze. But I understand the Norgard situation as well. That is a very strong midfield.
Yeah, I think Norgard's. You look at him, man. He's a big, strong guy. He apparently, like I said, his lungs are top class.
Yeah.
He does the numbers in terms of getting around the pitch. You're going to need that against Newcastle. I'm not saying that Zubimendi can't do that, but I'm saying Norgard for me seems
durable.
And especially if you've got Eze in there as well, then he will provide Eze with that cover that he needs in that position.
I like that. And maybe give Rice a bit more freedom as well.
Exactly. That will allow Rice to get up and down more as well.
Okay, so let's move to the right-hand side of the front three.
No brainer. It's got to be Saka.
Straight in. No words
Especially
needed.
with Madueke out. I mean,
no words needed.
It'd been very interesting how they would have played this with that, because, you know, like, it's obviously there was the minutes that he had against Port Vale were said, right, you're going to have 65 minutes regardless of whatever the score was and whatever. But it'd be interesting if Madueke was fit, what would have happened. But listen, Saka was always going to come in at some stage, whether it had been like Port Vale or now this game. Listen, he come on probably a little bit too early for the Man City game as far as 45 minutes was concerned. But, you know, listen, I didn't think he was that sharp against Port Vale. He's going to have to improve his sharpness because we need him. We need him now. Like, you know, where I felt that if Madueke was about, you could just be saying, like, you know, like 20 minutes.
Would you have started Madueke then over Saka, just by?
Yeah.
You would?
I would have.
What, in this game you would have?
In this game, yeah, I would have, because I don't think like he's quite match fit and sharp at the moment. Like what I would have done, and then with 20 minutes to go, then Saka would have come on. Like, you know what I mean? Now we've got to go Saka from the start. Yeah. It's a little bit tougher for him, but listen, if there's a player can do it,
I can see that. But I'll tell you what I have noticed, and listen, I think Madueke's done really well. So, you know what I mean, shout out to him for that. One thing I would say though, when you watch Madueke and Saka, Madueke's done really well in terms of dribbling and going past players and being aggressive and direct, which is something that we were crying out for. So shout out to him for that. I think the difference though, when you see like Saka in that position, is the decision making.
Yeah.
So whilst Madueke aesthetically he's taking on these guys, he's beating them, but sometimes the end product is not always what it should be. And I think a lot of that is down to the decision. I think with Saka, he's a bit more cerebral. So sometimes you might not want to go past a player, but he'll put a cross in. Sometimes he'll go past a player. You know what I mean? He seems to get it right more often than not. And I think that is that will come in time with Madueke. But I just think Saka, his decision making puts him on another level.
Definitely. No, mate, you're right on that.
But I am encouraged by what I'm seeing with Madueke. Needs a goal or an assist, but I am encouraged.
So let's go. Striker, number 9.
Gyökeres.
No brainer, really.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see Gyökeres get on the score sheet against Newcastle.
Definitely. Well, I was just going to ask, and I know we're revisiting this big debate that we had, which has been continued this morning between myself and my brother and one or two.
It was a big debate.
I'll be interested to hear, because obviously Lee knows his football, he plays his football, and I have a lot of respect for Lee. And I've not asked him this question prior to now, but I was saying yesterday, Lee, that I would have started Gyökeres up top against Port Vale. And the reason why I said that is that with Gyökeres, he didn't have a pre-season with us. He's still getting up to match speed in the Premier League. He has a slightly different style to what we're used to, so we're getting used to him. He's trying to get used to us. I think if we'd have played him yesterday, even if it's only for 60 minutes, say, I think it's very likely he would have got a goal. It's very likely that he would have done well. And that extra time, it's a work in progress. So give him more time, hopefully gets a goal. I think that would have put him in great shape for the game against Newcastle. Everybody shouting me down, oh, you're going to get injured. come on now. Gyökeres is probably the biggest, strongest guy with the exception of Gabriel in the team.
I don't think you should be worried about injuries.
Exactly.
And things like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, get out of your head, you know what I mean? You've got to play games. I would have played Gyökeres yesterday, and the reason that I would have played him, I wasn't against it if he didn't play, but if the argument for it is that we've got to get a game plan where we're used to playing against him, playing him. And against a lesser opposition, you might be able to find those little gaps a little bit better and easier. Like, it didn't work out like that because we didn't play like that, you know. But I think we've got to get used to playing with him, and he's got to get used to playing with us. The more game time would have been something that I would have looked at. And I'm at the thing with, like, you know, I'm not worried about the injury. If you get injured, you get injured.
It's an occupational hazard of being a professional footballer.
You know what I mean?
Some of them get injured in the warm-up. I've heard stories about players getting injured in the shower. God forbid, I don't know what they're doing. But you know what I'm saying? It's an occupational hazard.
And the other thing is, Laurie, right? If you go back to the Saka injury against Crystal Palace last season, right?
Yeah,
he didn't play in the game against Crystal Palace in midweek. So he rested him, and then he come back and got injured. We don't know, like, you know what I mean? Right. I just think that with Gyökeres, he's a work in progress. I think it would have been I get why we left him out. But
yeah, I mean, I'm not wholly against it.
I wouldn't have been against it. And then the other thing is, okay, right, if you're going to leave him out, then leave him out.
There you go.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but with 20 minutes to come for the game, they're putting him on. So, you know, listen, they need to get a little bit fit. I would have started him, yeah.
Yeah, I would. He needs the minutes. You can see it. And even, like I said, even in the way we play, there are times. I've watched this closely, because I was a big advocate for Gyökeres to come to the club, so I've been studying him. And you guys would have seen it. There's been plenty of times when he's made runs and he's called for the ball and he's not got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I was saying about
we're still working out best. This was a game where you could do that.
Exactly.
If it got turned over, we're good enough to get the ball back against the League One side. You know what I mean? So you could have took a few risks and see what would have happened. Also, if he would have banged in an hat-trick, who knows? Listen, if you'd have got hat-trick, people say it's only against the League One side. So it's a difficult one. But
said against Forest.
He definitely starts against Newcastle.
But strikers, they feed off goals, man, more than any other player in the team. You judge strikers by the goals they score, not necessarily the performances they put in.
And he hasn't scored for a couple now.
He hasn't. So him getting a goal or two last night would have been great for his confidence going into what is going to be a massive game on Sunday.
Definitely, good point. So let's move over to the left-hand side. This decision.
Eze.
On the left-hand side, yeah? Okay.
He plays on the left-hand side for me.
And that's taken into consideration, obviously,
midfield, yeah. I think we've got to have some sort of creativity in the side.
Okay.
And it's going to come from the flank, Saka and Eze.
Yeah.
I think that's what I will go with. Like, you know, basically, like, we've got all the players to defend. You go out there, you've got a licence to not worry about defending, a licence to attack.
Okay.
Them three.
Okay.
And the job is to beat players, which they can do, and then supply the big man up front. That's what you got to do, or score yourself. So for me, Eze plays in this game.
I think Lee makes a great point. I think if Eze doesn't get the number 10 berth, then he has to play on the left side. The one nuance I would say with that is that if he does play on the left, I want to see him playing what I call a creative left-sided forward. I don't want to see the Eze hugging the touchline like what he did against Bilbao. So if we're going to play him on the left, let's use him in a position where he can do the most damage. Don't just stick him out on the wing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Waiting for the ball, a long ball every now and again. No, let's get him more involved up the pitch.
Okay, cool. So,
but sorry, I was just going to say that whilst I see where Lee is coming from, if I've got Eze in the 10, then obviously he's going to be on the left.
Right,
so I would go in Martinelli.
I would as well.
Because of his pace, his explosivity, and the fact that he can help out with the defending as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can have Trossard as a clutch coming on later on in the game, doing what he does. He's done it twice now in 2 games. Mind you, so's Martinelli, he scored twice.
But if Odegaard's fit as well, even though he's an attacking player, I'd still play Eze there.
Okay.
Whatever happens, I want Eze in this team.
He needs to be on a pitch, 100%. No, it makes sense, perfect sense. So, quick score predictions, guys.
You know what? I'd love to be able to sit here and predict a 1-0 or a 2-0 to Arsenal, but given the way our recent games have gone, I could see this one being a draw. I can.
Okay.
So with my heart, I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal or 2-1 Arsenal, because I think Newcastle could score. But my head kind of tells me 1-1.
Okay. Lee?
If he plays Odegaard or Eze in the 10,
Yep.
and so if it's Odegaard, so what my team would want, I want Odegaard in the midfield, Eze on the left. I think Arsenal will win it. I don't think he will. I think he'll play that conservative way, and then it'll be a draw.
Okay. So if we win it, what's the score?
Win it. I'm going to say 2-0.
Okay.
Draw it 1-1.
Okay, cool. I think it's going to be 2-1. Arsenal.
Okay.
Yeah, 2-1.
Reasons why?
Look, as long as Eze starts, I would start Eze in the 10, Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, and Gyökeres up front. I believe if he goes with that, I believe it's 2-1. Newcastle can, score. They can be dangerous, and they can get at you. St James's Park is a very hard place to go. Raucous.
We've not done that well there for a while.
We haven't. Last season we lost 1-0 in the league, and in the League Cup we lost 2-0. And the season before we lost as well. So
they won't have Isak this time.
Yeah, they won't. But he was the guy who done the damage to us in all of the games, the home and away. It's going to be a great game. Really looking forward to it, and you guys can catch it here on AFTV with the watch along. Super Sunday, Newcastle versus Arsenal. Check out all the fan cams afterwards. Guys, please subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get this to 2 million subscribers. Let us know in the comments your predicted 11, what you think Arteta will go with, or your preferred 11. Let us know whether you agree with Laurie. Let us know whether you agree with Lee. Let us know what you think, and we will look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much for watching. Marty from AFTV signing out.